Alright, good morning guys. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back everyone. Happy Monday everyone. Happy Monday guys. Welcome back everyone, welcome back. Good morning to you guys, YouTube guys. We're here. Share the still someone said share the music from the stream. It's the secret source, we can't share it. Secret. Audio and video good, awesome, thank you man. Good morning YouTube guys, welcome back. Zoom guys, welcome. If any of you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. I've been trading for the past 7 years and mainly focus on gold futures here in the European session. So ready to dive into another week with you guys, see what we get this week. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Now let me just bring my charts over here. Remember we did have we had NFP on Friday. Gold had another amazing rip higher. So first day back after NFP, we shall see what we get for the day. Sorry guys, I'm just adjusting my screens around here. 2 seconds. Let me see if I can bring this down. There we go. Cool. Awesome. New green screen today. Yeah, this will be the new green screen for the next few months as well. But yeah, we got a new green screen here today. Is it a better one? I don't think it's gonna beat the Australia C morning green screen. Green C? Green screen. Michael, Chris, Damon, Sean, good morning guys, welcome. Good morning everyone, good morning. Gold having a decent push already on the currency. Currency already back up at Asia highs, which would have been a nice pre-London play. But futures not really moving too yet. Before we do anything guys, let's have a look at the news for the week. Before we do anything guys, first thing you want to do for the day, for the week, is what do we have coming up this week and what do we need to be aware of? What should we be aware of for the trading day ahead and the whole week in general? Because if we have, let's say, massive news on Wednesday, then we can expect we'll probably play some ranges Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll probably get the big trending or continuation moves whenever that news does come in. So let me just have a look here. Let's get all the currencies on here. So today, Monday the 8th, nothing of interest whatsoever. Tuesday, not really anything. And then Wednesday, ignore these times guys, these are my times here in Spain, so it's an hour ahead, but take away an hour, we do have core PPI 1:30 London time on Wednesday. Right with what else do we have? So we've got core PPI 1:30 London time. Thursday we have monetary policy statements and we have CPI. So PPI on Wednesday, CPI on Thursday, and then you have GDP for the pound on Friday, and then consumer sentiment for the US dollar on Friday as well. Aaron, I missed you man, been waiting to see your gorgeous face all weekend. Well remember man, you can head over to my channel or you can just sit there and daze into my YouTube videos all day long, and remember to watch full length of the ads as well. It's a pretty productive way to spend your weekend, to be honest. I missed your face in the YouTube chat as well, man. Thank you for tuning in. So yeah, we got a pretty busy week from Wednesday onwards, guys. I did post a new video yesterday. It's quite a long one, quite a different style of video, no real fancy editing. I posted a new Switzerland trading video. If any of you guys do want to go check it out, it's a long one, but it's a good one. Good morning, Corey. Looking forward to a great week. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, main news is starting from Wednesday onwards, guys. Thank you, Clays. Appreciate it, man. Cool video watch this morning. Nice one, man. Now, let's have a look at Goldie here for the day, guys. Now, obviously, we did have NFP on Friday, and NFP had an amazing push higher on gold. Gold had another leg higher. Just when you think gold couldn't go any higher, we came all the way back up and we hit 36.50, which is a huge level. Now, currency charts already having a pretty decent push here. So I do want to buy this futures, but they're a little bit out of sync here this morning. But still, buying makes the most sense. You know, buying up into Friday's high to me is the most logical trade here. 4 hours came down, grabbed the lows, holding support, holding that sort of VWAP level. So pulling back, even coming up into this Asia high here, which I think has already been grabbed on the currency. It has. But on the futures, I still think we have a little bit of room here. You know, the smart trade here is buying, because who's to say we don't just have another continuation leg higher and peak some new all-time highs. So, for me, buying gold here is still the smart trade. And it's still the most obvious play that we can see right now. But yeah, the currency already has had a pretty decent push at 6:30 London time, which you did have a little bit of a push here at 6:30, but not as big as what the currency's pushed up. The currency is almost right back at these highs from NFP. He's just standing on the stairs. Let me just show you guys here. And we'll break down other markets today as well, guys. Don't worry, anything you guys are looking at, feel free to send it in. We'll break down gold. We'll have a look at some NQ today as well. So just a very quick look at the currency chart. You guys can see here, look at this. The currency is, you know, almost back up at Friday's highs, which is nice, to be honest, because I still think we're going to squeeze it. Even on the currency chart, I see this and I think, okay, cool. A lot of people are probably trying to short this, risking off this high. And I'd say you're still going to squeeze up higher. So I do still like the longs here. So we can get long on the futures, which has much more room to go. You know, on the futures, you got, you know, you're talking like 200 ticks back into the highs, which is amazing. So even at half risk, trying to hold that for most of the day could be a pretty decent trade. Sammy's back down again. Sammy's having a little run around this morning. So yeah, obviously we had a very strong push on NFP on Friday. Gold having that amazing weekly closure. You know, the first time ever on the history of gold, we've closed bullish, even above 35.50. We've now closed all the way above 3600 as well. So look at this weekly time frame. Coming down, instant bottom wick. To me, this looks primed to just squeeze higher. So I really want to be seeing if we can get these longs here. To be honest, it's not a bad place to see if we can start taking it from here. But we have already had a pretty decent London push. So you kind of see here, you had this nice support. What does that bring in? Brings in a lot of people trying along, whether they sit their stops down just below. What does price do? Comes down, tags the lows, and then ends up breaking back higher. Now, it's going to be hard for me to want to buy it from here, given how high the currency is as well. But if we can get a little bit of a pullback here, maybe at the London Open, then we'll see if we can get these longs. And you sort of would have, not the cleanest, but if we can get a bit of a pullback, you know, we sort of had this sort of left shoulder head, right shoulder. That was a terrible head drawing, but left shoulder head, right shoulder. Inverse head and shoulders play to come back up into these highs around 38. We may squeeze it from here. You know, you've already had a pretty decent breakout. I won't chase it from here because there's nowhere for me to put my stops. The only place I can see my stops where this trade would be invalid is closures below here. Well, closures below there up into these highs is a 0.35 risk to reward. So we won't chase it from here. But if we can get a little bit of a pullback, amazing. We'll see if we can get these gold buys here. Aren't we at level of resistance on the 5? Yes, I'm sure we are, but again, that's probably how most people are looking at the markets. Most people are probably looking at this resistance and jumping in shorts, sitting their stops just above these highs. So that's our, you know, that's our whole entire trading plan. Is we're trying to buy up into where most people are trying to sell. Exactly the same thing down here. You know, people go, oh, this is support, I'm not going to sell this. But if you haven't grabbed the lows, that's exactly what you want to be shorting into. You see this bounce, brings in a lot of sellers, you want to be shorting into that support. Same as what gold's doing right now. So yeah, you are at resistance, absolutely. But I assume that's how most people are looking at the markets. And most people are probably trying to short this on gold. Most people are trying to short this, sitting their stops above. We want to be buying up into where most people are trying to sell. That's why buying from down here this morning at like 6:45, in hindsight, would have been beautiful. But to be fair, you would have waited closed above. So 7 AM, you have a nice little squeeze here. We'll have a look at NQ as well here, guys. We got London Open in about 15 minutes. Audi's looking very strong, Goldie. Very, very, very strong. Beautiful Audi morning start on the currency. Same, look at this. Bullish engulfing. Easy buys at 7 AM. Look at this. Massive breakout. What's that day? What's that Audi flip? 50 ticks already. Look at that. Wow, amazing. Gold having a lovely, lovely push here, guys. Just before we jumped on, but very, very nice push. Very valid trade. Oh, this is a good question, Dennis. Hi, Aaron. I want to ask you, I have my first Express account and I'm up $1,700. When would you take a first small payout just to experience it? I mean, firstly, good job on firstly getting funded. Secondly, actually running up the account to 1,700. That's amazing. Personally, for me, I would see if I could maybe get it to like 2,000 and take out 500 maybe. But it also depends on how much you're risking. You know, how much of a buffer you're going to actually give yourself if you do that. Because you want to give yourself, like, let's say, worst case scenario, 3 to 5 losses in a row. And still, you know, maybe that would lose the account, for example. You wouldn't want to take out, so let's say if you risk 500 per trade, you know, you take out 700, you've only got 2 trades to play with. It's not enough. You need more of a buffer than that. So I personally would give myself at least 3 to 5 trades, at least. But you know, like I say, you know, don't be afraid just to take out like $500 or $250. You know, take out something like you say to show yourself that this is actually real. You say to some people, take out 250, and people go, nah, it's not worth it, and then you end up losing the whole entire thing. But it's not about the $250 that's going to be, you know, life-changing amounts of money. It's about the fact that it's $250 to show you that this is actually real and you can actually do this. And you see that money hit your account and you go, wow, this is now actually real. Otherwise, it always just feels like a game all the time. So yeah, even if it's just, you know, 250, I think it's amazing. It depends on how long you've been trading it for as well. You know, if you hit 1,700 last week, then you may be fine to trade on. But if you've been trading combines and XFAs for like a good couple of months and you still haven't got a payout, then mentally you might be like, okay, cool, I'm actually ready to see something from this. So gold tagging the highs here, having a little bit of a pullback. This is what we want to see, guys. I want to see gold have a pullback so we can get in long. Gold's already had a very decent push here. You may create a little bit of a range. So let's have a look at some other markets here. Let's have a look at NQ. How long did it take you to become profitable in trading? Over 2 years. I consistently lost money in trading for over 2 years. And it's not really like, you know, I'm still, you know, improving every day, getting better and better. But yeah, it took me at least a year and a half, maybe saw some payouts. But actually consistently, at least 2 years. At least 2 years. Yeah, all-time highs in the futures. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised, man. I think all-time highs in the futures is probably coming on gold pretty soon. The currency is already there, so sorry, almost already there. Currency is very, very, very close to wicking some all-time highs. Currency is like 38 ticks away. So yeah, I do think we'll see it. Now, thoughts on NQ. Let's have a look. Last week, you ended up having a very nice liquidity grab and a closure back above 23,500, which has been a big, big, big support level. So you came all the way down, tagged lows from the 18th of August, and then had a beautiful break back high. Look at this. This is a huge push. I did dip by some big stocks this week as well. Sorry, not this week. This week. Last week. As this was coming down, grabbing some lows, holding some big support. Bought some Amazon, bought some Apple, and they're having some amazing, amazing pushes. Now, Friday, NFP day, you wicked out a lot of these highs here and held this resistance. So could you maybe see in a little bit of a pullback, potential evening star shaping up here in the daily? Maybe. But we do have to remember, you know, we are still very bullish. We're still very, very bullish. And it wouldn't surprise me, you know, 24,000 and potentially new all-time highs isn't that far away. So daily kind of doji on Friday off the back of NFP. But again, look at this. You came up, tagged some highs, pulled back, squeezing higher. So a little bit of a tough one to read here on NQ. Just because the NFP had such a big rip higher, big rip down, that you've almost completely retraced the whole entire NFP move. So let's have a look here. So where was the NFP highs? Yeah, you kind of tagged the highs, pulled back. So I guess you could have some highs back here from Friday. Could you come up and tag them Friday highs? You probably could. I think if you're going to come up into Friday's highs, you'd probably get a little bit of a pullback first. You guys can see Sammy just taking in the views. Oh, he's looking at me. just there in the balcony. He'll be on. Just chill on the balcony, living the life. So yeah, I do like NQ to squeeze higher. What have we seen so far here in Asia and pre-London? What have we done? A little bit of pullback. You had a pretty decent fake out. Look at this, kind of support, broke it above, below, above, squeezing higher. So you may get some intraday longs here in London. Where are we? Maybe come up and squeeze some highs before potentially pulling back. You kind of have a bit of a trend line coming down here. What does this trend line mean? Trend line means most people trying to short the third touch. You know, maybe risk off somewhere above here. So you may get some potential London squeezes higher on NQ. Gold having a little bit of a pullback, which is nice as well. So I want to see right before the London Open. Finding some resistance as well, probably bring in some sellers, and then you can squeeze it. But yeah, NQ longs for the London session look pretty good here actually. You know, you've kind of broken out, you're holding this level. I do like shorts for a potential pullback of this big move up that we've seen here in Asia. But again, in terms of trading what we see right now and not what we think, we've had some nice lows here. We came down, we've broken out. So I would imagine you may get a lot of people trying to short NQ here, which means you may do something like this before then squeezing lower. Therefore, this would very likely be the move of the London session. So you could take advantage of that. Before then, potentially rolling over. If you do want a short NQ, you know, strong bearish closure back below, and then you can react right back to the shorts as well. If I can hold out, is 2 times the drawdown okay as well? What do you mean, sorry man? 2 times the drawdown? As in like you built up a buffer? Yeah, I've used indicators before. Have I ever used indicators? Yeah, I have used indicators before, man. I prefer just to keep it clean and simple. Nothing wrong with using indicators. I personally prefer to keep my charts clean. Price action on gold. Price action on gold, I think, is the most consistent and easy to read. So, yeah, personally, I love just reading pure price action. You know, I do have a view app on it here as well. It's not something I will directly execute trades off. But yeah, price action on gold in the higher time frame is the nicest. Have a quick there. 4 hour on gold, getting a massive on the currency. 4 hour bullish engulfing. Morning all, good morning man, good morning. What kind of pullback am I looking for? Not much, to be honest. I think we may just squeeze. Just maybe a pullback just to come down and, you know, maybe tag some previous lows before pushing up. You can kind of see here. You know, you haven't really grabbed any lows for quite some time. So just the open of the London. Get that hourly bottom weight to come down and tag some lows and see if we can take this higher. I mean, if we could come down here, that would be great. Now that I've seen how much we have pushed, I don't think we'll come down that low. So where could we come down into? Let's have a look. Back down into here, maybe. Kind of had this nice support here. Broke above, below resistance, broke above. So if we can get this London open candle to come down, tag these previous 30-minute lows, and look for longs from there, that would be ideal. So this is the 30-minute. But we kind of want this next hourly to look something like this. See if we can come down, tag the lows, and see if we can get this break back higher. Sells on gold, I'm not really too interested, to be honest. You know, the past 2 hours have been closing very bullish, so I don't want to be fighting that. And the currency on the 4 hour is looking very, very bullish. It's also looking like you're going to come up and tag these all-time highs as well. But because you've already had a pretty decent push here, yeah, you don't want to be trying to chase gold here, because there's no, like I said, there's no risk reward here. But if you can come down and squeeze some lows, then you can look for a much nicer risk reward. Risk off the lower time frame liquids, grab and then see if you can play it. And yeah, we can look at other markets as well, guys. Like I say, feel free to send it over. You guys on Zoom, send over some charts, anything like that. We've got time. We got London open in 5 minutes as well. What does it mean when the 4-hour has to wick? I mean, it kind of already has a wick right now. But I mean, if you see like a 4-hour open with no bottom wick and just push up, then the high chance is you need to come down and create a bottom wick. So then you can end up coming all the way back down. And then you can end up leaving a pretty steep top wick. I think we had some... What do we have on Friday? Did we have some longs on Friday? Where were we Friday? I think we had some longs on Friday. Or was it some shorts? I can't remember. Right before we jumped off, ended up having a lovely squeeze. What view app are you? Just the standard settings here. But yeah, gold's still breaking high, guys. Let me just close this door. It's very noisy. Lean hogs is the market, you know. Lean hogs has been having some crazy moves. I've taken 24 payouts, but also have a lot of cost. Got paid out 12k, but I've lost 20k on buying and upgrading accounts. What advice do you have for me? I mean, if you're still net 12,000, I mean, or you've lost 20, I'm not too sure. But I mean, if you're churning through loads of accounts, just focus on consistency. Consistency is the key here. It's not about trying to hit, you know, home run payouts. It's about, you know, if you hit huge payouts and then you end up spending thousands on accounts anyway, then you're working out to be stuck at break even. Therefore, you haven't quite got that consistency. So you want to focus on down 8. Yeah. If you're down 8, then yeah, you want to if you've got paid out 12, but yeah, you've lost 20k, then you're down 8k, which is a crazy amount of money to be spending. Especially when here on Topstep, you know, it's costing you what, $200 all in for a 50. That would be a lot of accounts. Churning through accounts isn't what you want. You want to be focused on consistency. Consistency is the key here, because payouts, just because people have got payouts doesn't mean they're actually consistent overall. You want to be trading the same accounts, keeping the same accounts, and getting consistent payouts. I wouldn't be spending anywhere near 20k on accounts. I don't think I've ever spent remotely even close to that. GPUSD, yep, definitely. We got London Open in 1 minute here, guys. Hourly on gold is going to close pretty strong, so you may just see a little. You're not going to see much of a bottom wick here. You could just little bottom wick and just push. Look at this. You've been pushing high here on gold since 6 a.m. Since 6 a.m., you know, gold's already up 165 ticks before the London Open. That's a pretty decent push for gold. So you may create some space in here. GPUSD, Euro USD, yep, definitely, we can have a look. So, GBP USD for trading on the futures, just pound futures, same thing. Let's have a look here. Again, you had NFP on Friday. Pretty decent squeeze up here on Friday. I think you'll probably see the pound continue coming high here, looking at this chart. How was that weekly close? Yeah, look at that weekly close on the pound. Looking very, 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 very strong. Came all the way down. Tagged lows from August. Still kind of holding this massive, you know, huge fake out support here. Massive support. Broke below it. Tagged lows from May. Right back above. Holding support, holding support. So to me here, the pound is looking, pound's looking very strong here. Pound is looking very strong. So I'll be watching Friday's high as a good target. I'd also be watching these highs here. In terms of an intraday trade, yeah, Friday's highs look very nice here. Very, very, very nice. Now, kind of similar to gold here, you've already had a very, look at this, a very strong push. So, If you can get a little bit of a pullback here, yeah, to me this looks good for longs. This looks good. Pound looks very nice for longs. Same as gold. Morning guys, good morning man. Yeah, very out of sync man. Very out of sync. So let's see, we just had this London Open here, guys. Let's see gold obviously closing very nice and strong. I want to get these longs. Again, I just need to see a pullback because this is way too overextended for a London move. I could try and buy it from here, but like I say, if I buy gold from here, there's zero risk reward from me here. So gold may get a bit tricky up here, unfortunately, guys. You've already had, like I say, this at 630 was the London push here. If I'm gonna get long, you know, if we can come down, maybe wick some 15-minute lows, that would be fantastic. If we can grab these 745 lows, then I would consider longs. Grab the lows and maybe start to break out. That would be a very nice trade. But London is pre-London already has a very decent push. Same as Euro USD. You know, if you want to trade the futures, just 6E. Sticks before anything you look at on the futures is for the currencies. Euro as well. We spoke about Euro last week. Euro as well is looking very nice. I actually think the pound's looking nicer here because the Euro, you know, you came down, tagged lows, tagged the highs. But again, though, you had this NFP squeeze on Friday. I still think you'll probably come up and tag NFP Friday's highs. So I would still be watching this. I think a lot of people probably be jumping in shorts here. The nice thing about the euro and the pound here compared to gold is you haven't had as big of a push as gold has had. I don't day trade these. I'm not going to start day trading just because gold's not doing anything. But if you can get a little bit of a pullback here on the euro, yeah, euro longs look nice as well. Euro and pound longs look good to me. Do you miss the Gold Coast? The apartment view was amazing. A little bit. I don't miss the trading times though. I definitely don't miss the trading times. It's nice actually having my days back. But you know what? You could get pretty much the same here in Europe. We just need to find the spot. So yeah, definitely miss the beach views. But I don't miss trading until, you know, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And being stuck inside all day. Just waiting for... waiting to start trading. So, as a place, definitely. Trading times, no, I don't miss it at all. I also don't miss the crazy tax and extremely strict government there as well. That's for sure. So gold squeezing here, guys. Like I say, I'm not gonna chase this. If it pushes from here, it pushes from here. There's no risk reward for me. If you chase gold from here, you know, at any point, whether it happens now or it happens in the next 30, you're gonna have a liquidity wick before you have this real push. So you can chase it, get squeezed, and then see the real push, or you can wait for the squeeze to happen, and then we can take it. Yeah. Strategy that you use the most is buying and selling into these liquidity levels. So the best trade here this morning is before we have jumped on, but would have been here at 7 AM. Once you had this very nice liquidity grab here, you know what's this? Most people jumping in these longs, sitting their stops just down below the previous low. Price comes down, grabs the lows and breaks out, and then where am I buying up? Into the next liquidity level. So back up into here. And that's like not the cleanest step, but that's the ideal plan. Playing from liquidity level to liquidity level. So we're trying to identify, you know, where most people are trying to buy or sell and how we can take advantage of it. Now NQ does still have a little bit of room here as well, guys. Does look nicer than gold. NQ longs, you may squeeze up, you kind of risk off any closure back below this level. Gold on the currency chart about to hit some all-time highs. Switzerland looked insane. Yes, yeah. Switzerland was spot on all-time highs now. Switzerland was incredible, man. Absolutely beautiful. So nice. Is that just me? But if you look at the Euro and the NQ chart split screen, there's the leader lagger that going on with NQ. I mean, there can be sometimes, but not enough to take trades off, really. Same as gold and NQ. You know, there's not really enough to. I can see. Sorry, there we go. Euro. I can see there is sometimes, but yeah, it's not really enough to take trades off. You can still see them both, you know, go higher. You know, you saw Euro rip higher on NFP. You saw NQ. Where was NQ? Oh, so you saw NQ rip lower. Where are we? Let me go hourly. Hourly. It's kind of, where was this? So it's 1 o'clock. So, yeah, 1 o'clock you had that big push up. 1 o'clock you had the big push down. Sorry, up. Sold off at 3. Kind of sold off a little bit at 3. So not really, to be honest. There's a little bit, but not, like I said, not enough to really base trades off. Kind of same as gold. Some people try and correlate. Gold and NQ. To me, there's not enough of a correlation. I've seen them, you know, move together. I've also seen them move opposite. So I find it to be a bit hit and miss. Yeah, currency just wicked out some all-time highs there on gold. NQ having a nice little bounce off this support. Again, gold's not gonna do much up here, guys. I know it's not what we want to hear, but it's reality. Gold pre-London is already up 180 ticks. What do we do after a 180 tick move, whether it comes to the London Open or the New York Open? What do we likely do? We likely create a big range and, you know, maybe start to pull back before then. That was a terrible drone, but you're very likely to range up here now. Let me see here. Let's have a look. Yeah, currency literally just wicked out them all-time highs, tapped into that 3600 level. Topping out a little bit. Good morning, Senna. Good morning, man. If you take a payout when traveling, how do you pay tax? Just pay it in the country you reside. Just like if you get paid out from your salary whilst you're in a different country. So yeah, anything else you guys looking at? Like I say, feel free to send over. Gold's not gonna give us anything up here. There's gonna be no trades on Goldie today, unfortunately. It's already had a huge push. NQ is having a nice little bounce though. Like I said, anyone shorting here on NQ gonna be getting squeezed out. You may see NQ pull back up into these highs as well, which could be nice. Someone did say lean hogs. Let's have a look. Lean hogs is one crazy market that's just been on some absolutely mad moves. Look at this. This is huge. I've never traded this ever, but it's been on some huge runs. Absolutely huge runs. 6C comes down. Yeah, again, it's not something I trade, but we can have a look. I actually don't know. Yeah, Euro coming down here. You want to see if the Euro can hold above this level. You wouldn't want to see the Euro fake out. If you see the Euro fake out, you might arrange. But this is not a bad level to see if you can potentially find some support and squeeze. That's a pretty decent, you know, tag of the pre-London highs and a squeeze here. See if you can fake out. If you close back below here on the Euro, you want to see a closure back above. Otherwise, that 4 hour is hitting some pretty big resistance. Let's see here. Let's see. Copper, yeah, definitely. Yep. How could we miss copper? How could we miss copper? So, copper still kind of we used to like breaking down copper. Like I say, copper's kind of been copper's been stuck since we had that huge July move, but we are starting to move a little bit now. Let's see. Weekly tagged the highs bearish, so you can kind of see the weekly is stuck in a pretty pretty tough area. Big resistance, big support. But these ranges are pretty big though. You still can trade these ranges. Do I trade silver or copper? Yeah, I've traded copper a few times. Silver I've never traded. Although we did break it down nicely last week. We can have a look at silver as well though. Gold currency still breaking high here, guys. I'm not chasing this. New all-time highs in the currency chart. 3601. Look at that. 3601. 3602 in a second. So yeah, copper has been a little bit tough. I do like some shorts here on copper. Look at this. You kind of sort of have this sort of left shoulder head, potential right shoulder, before then seeing if you can get some shorts. Intraday time frame here. What have we got? Let's clean this up a little bit here. So we got some nice lows down here. We got $4.5 down there as well. Now you did just have a nice bounce off this support. You may come up and squeeze these 4-hour highs before pushing. Let's have a look here. Hourly chart. Yes, you got some nice Asia highs up here. To be fair, this looks a bit nicer than gold. This gold's already pushing. So I think a lot of people be shorting copper here. Copper longs into these highs. Now again, you've already had a pretty decent move here on copper at 6 AM. So if I was going to get in these copper longs, I'd want to see a bit of a liquidity wick to come down, grab some lows, and then I would see the longs. And you'd want to be seeing if you can get the candle looking something like this. You know, maybe the next 30 minute comes down, wicks out a lot of these lows, and then you're trying to see if you can get this push. But yeah, copper longs look good to me. Again, if it pushes from here, that's fine. There's no, like I said, there's no, same as gold, there's no risk to reward from here. Currency having a big squeeze here, guys. Painful to watch this on gold, but the buys were pre-London. The buys weren't London open. The buys down here were at 7 AM. Look at this. New highs in the currency chart. Even the buys here, yeah, 7 AM. 7 AM. 130 ticks. Huge. Yep, see you tomorrow, man. Nice one. Absolutely. So we know plays here on Goldie, so smart decision, man. Smart decision. Let's have a look here on the futures. Are we still squeezing? Yeah, look at that. Futures still squeezing, guys. Painful to watch Goldie. But like I say, it's not a market to trade. Sorry, to chase. I think we're going to eat gold trades here. It's probably going to be pre-New York here. Like I say, this is amazing, amazing, amazing push. But where do you buy gold in a push like this? You buy it down here at the support after the liquidity gap. You don't buy resistance and hope that it's going to continue pushing. Silver though, let's have a look. Silver. Let's see what's silver been up to. Silver weekly, again, very strong, very, very similar to gold. Last week's highs looked like some pretty decent targets. These were our levels from last week. Let's have a look. Come down, wick and lows. So it does look nice for a huge support being formed here. You got some nice highs coming up. You also do have a trend line like this. Again, I don't short trend lines, but when I see trend lines like this, this makes me think, okay, cool. A lot of people, once you do come up into this trend line, you know, will be looking to do something like this. Then you'll very likely see that. Lots of people see these, you know, third touches of trend lines, risk off the highs, looking for this huge play down. Unfortunately, the markets don't move like that anymore. And if you're going to see a third touch of a trend line, you'll probably see an initial bounce lower, and then you'll very likely come up and squeeze higher. So silver longs still look good here. Again though, it's very similar to gold. You've already started pushing at 6 AM London time. It's a very, very, very big push here. Pre-London. And again, now with silver being as high as it is, would I buy silver now? No, I wouldn't buy silver at this resistance. And this is kind of the times where, you know, it can get a little bit frustrating because, you know, you're jumping on, you're wanting to look for trades, but the markets don't really care about what we want to see. If you've already had a massive push up here pre-London, you just kind of have to accept it and wait. Doesn't matter if it's pre-London or if it's New York, you know. Any session, you push up this much, what do you likely do? You likely range, you pull back, and then you maybe get the continuation later on. Remember, it's the first day trading back after NFP as well. So, huge push up here on silver. Even a bigger push than gold. So again, if I was going to get these silver longs back up into back up into the highs of Friday, you would need to see a pullback. Need to see a pullback. And I've heard that you can find some huge gold nuggets in Australia with a gold metal detector. Have you tried looking for nuggets out there? I have never tried. I think the mining guys probably do a better job than I could. Unfortunately, I've never tried. To be fair though, we did actually used to see people going around the beaches with a metal detector quite a lot. Need to go gold panning here. Yep, absolutely go gold panning for sure. Gold's already pushing, so yeah, now we're gonna have to go gold panning, yeah. With gold pushing so much. Look at this, guys, what an absolute rip. Yeah, that's crazy, yeah. Finding gold with gold about to hit some all-time high as well is crazy. Absolutely huge. It's a shame here on gold, because like I say, these longs were absolutely perfect. But they were not perfect from here. If I buy gold from here, you know, if I buy gold from here, gold pulls back, I'm going to look at that trade and go, that was really stupid. Why was I trying to buy gold here? So the longs for this push, which have been beautiful, were here. Not here. And not here. You know, sometimes it's easy to look back and go, oh, I should have bought there. I should be in this. It's like if you'd bought here and it went down. If I'd bought here and gold went down, the amount of people here on YouTube have said, why are you buying resistance? Because again, it doesn't make sense. If you're buying, once you push this much, you're buying below some lows. You're not chasing this. So don't look at this and go, oh, I should be in this. Well, you shouldn't, because if it pulled back, you wouldn't be saying that. Where was the most logical place to buy gold of this push up? To me, it was here. Like, that was beautiful. You came down, grabbed the lows, closed bullish. But again, would I be holding all the way up to here? Probably not. I'll probably be taking it to here. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to catch because there's no stop loss here. Like, where's your stop loss gonna go? Well, where was the last time you kind of grabbed some previous lows? Where was your last liquidity grab? It was all the way down there. So your stop loss is gonna have to go like way below. You know, price could have from here pulled all the way back to this level. The trade would have still been valid. So your stop loss would have been like somewhere around here, with your targets what, maybe here, maybe. So it's one of them trades, you know, you just gotta accept it and let it do its thing. The buys came at 6:30, not London Open. Oil, yep, definitely we can have a look at oil. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at oil. We should have a quick look at NQ. Let's have a look. Yeah, there you go. NQ squeezed the high, so that was your trade. If you really wanted to trade, NQ is the play here, not gold. What was that? What have you got up into these highs? So NQ's hit the levels. It got 22 points on NQ. So if you really wanted to trade here in London, that was it was NQ. Oil, let's have a look. Let's get rid of this. Oil's been a bit of a tough one as well. You've kind of been stuck between this 65 and 61. Can you even bring us up a little bit? Let's bring us up. Where's 62? Yeah, 65 and 62. Big support. Big resistance. Daily time frame, very bearish on Friday. But again, you know, you could still see oil come lower. Maybe a lot of people trying to buy here, but again, this is a pretty decent reaction. 62 is a big level of support. If you ever look at this monthly time frame, look how big 62 is. Huge. 62 all the way down into 60s. Big support. So, intraday, it's looking pretty strong. But again, though, it's pretty much all markets right now. Pre-London's had pretty decent pushes here. First day back after NFP can happen as well. So, this support, give a little bit of a pullback, and then again, I still think you could squeeze higher. So I've been watching previous 4-hour lows as a potential pullback level, and then I'd be looking for oil to also come higher. Again though, would I be buying oil from here? I wouldn't. But if you could pull back, maybe grab some lows, then this would look like a nice long. This is a very nice bounce here off 62s as well. Very, very, very nice bounce. Hey Aaron, hey man. Thoughts on just taking a few trades a day until hitting PT and stopping? PT, is that, what's that? Just hitting profit targets and stopping? Sometimes I struggle with the mindset of there's so much day left, surely more opportunity. I mean, yeah, but your job isn't to sit here and trade every single day. I mean, sit here for hours and hours on end. Trading's not the business where you can just sit here and just scalp all day long. You will give back at some point everything. More trades doesn't equal more profits, unfortunately. More trades in a day equals more stupid decisions, which equals more losses. If your goal is to try and sit here and scalp every single tick move all day, well, why not just buy and just hold the trade? I could take one trade and catch this move, and get a decent trade like this, or try and take a trade here, another trade here, another trade. No, like that just sounds way too stressful. That at some point you're gonna go on tilt and you're gonna make a stupid mistake, and you're gonna give everything back. So rather than trying to focus on loads of little tiny trades, just focus on some good trades, because it's gonna equal up to the same amount, except with taking loads of little trades, it's a matter of time before you go on tilt and give everything back. It's not about, the fact that there's still so much left on the day. If you get to a point of full-time trading and you're just consumed by charts, 24 hours, 5 days a week, like I say, it's very, 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 very mentally draining. And trading is a career where mental capital is very, very, very key. And if you mentally drain yourself, like I say, you're opening up the doors to a whole world of terrible decisions. So, personally, I wouldn't try and sit here and scalp all day long. It's not about the fact that, there's still moves in there. Your job in trading isn't to catch every single market move. And that's why so many people go wrong. Like, people want to buy here, get out here, and they want to sell here, get out here, and then buy here, and then that's not your goal. Your goal is to take your piece of the pie consistently. And, like I was saying last week, if it's your goal to, let's say, make, I don't know, 2,000 per account a month, for example. Well, on gold, that's 200 ticks. So when you measure this, you go, okay, 200 ticks of the month. Well, we've just moved 250 ticks. So it doesn't really take that many trades to be able to do that. So for me, I'd just rather have just a couple of good trades a week than trying to take, loads of trades a day. There's only a certain amount of good decisions that you can make in a day. But that's why I don't ever set personal targets in trading. I never come onto the chart saying, oh, today I'm going to get this amount. Today I'm going to make this much. You come on the charts with no expectations and you take what the markets give you. Anytime you set yourself profit targets, that's when you're putting your sort of opinions on the markets. Look at that on NQ, guys. Tag the highs beautifully and pull them back there. So if you wanted to trade, NQ was the play. Broke out, held the support, squeeze higher. Basically what we wanted to see on gold. Anytime you set yourself personal targets, you are basically saying the market owes you something, which it definitely doesn't. You never want to come on trading and say, okay, cool, today I have to make X amount. Because if you set that, but nothing presents itself for the day, you go, well, no, I said to myself, I have to hit these profit targets. Then you end up just completely breaking the rules and breaking the plan. Our trading plan comes up, a good amount of times, pretty much every single day in most sessions. But again, I don't think anyone's consistent trading plan is going to give you multiple opportunities loads of times a day. So for me personally, if I get my one trade for the day, that's me. I'm done. I'm out. I'm like, cool. See you tomorrow. Trade for freedom. Everyone gets into trading for the freedom. But then when people get into trading, they can't bear to not be able to charge 24/7. Like if you ask most people, why did you get into trading? Well, it's for money and freedom. Okay, cool. How often are you okay with taking a step back from the charts? Oh, never. I'm on the charts 10 hours a day, every day. So, okay, well then what was the whole point of this? Because if that's your outcome, then it's a very stressful way to make a living. So you should focus on trading for freedom. You know, get your one trade, you know, take this move here to here. And we're like, okay, cool, I got my trade. Close the charts, have that peace of mind, and go about your day. Yep, that's it, Dame, exactly. That's my main focus at the moment. Just making good decisions and only taking trades that meet the plan. Exactly, man. The goal is to be a good trader, which then is a result of making good money. Yep, exactly, man. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. You want to focus on taking good trades and becoming a good trader. You know, it can be the best career in the world. We can do this from absolutely anywhere. And like I say, you know, to make good, consistent gains in trading, you know, like I say, like, you know, what? Let's say if you've got, you know, a couple accounts here on Topstep, you want to make like 5,000 a month. It's like when you actually break it down per account, it's like you don't actually need to make that much money. You don't need to take that many trades. And so when you actually kind of reverse engineer and you break down, okay, cool, how many trades would I need to take a week to make this desired outcome? And you work out, okay, cool, I don't need like maybe 2 to 3 good trades a week. And you go, okay, cool, well then let me be more patient and actually follow the plan. Don't get me wrong, there is some people who can sit there and scalp all day long. For most people, I don't think it's the goal. Not that I don't think it's the goal. I don't think it should be the right way to trade. Because if you get to a point of trading full time, and this is kind of what I hit a wall with one time, is I would be, you know, when I've, let's say like a year into trading, if I was, you know, taking a break from the charts, like I was having dinner or lunch with the family, and all you can think about is the charts and, oh, what's gold doing? Am I going to miss a move? Is NQ moving? Oh, if you can't detach from the charts, it is the worst thing that you could ever possibly do. And that's, you know, you want to build these good habits now of saying, okay, cool, I get my 1 to 2 trades today, I close the charts and walk away. Because when you get to a point of full-time trading, you have to have that discipline. Otherwise, like I say, if you're just scared and glued to charts all day long, it's very, very, very mentally draining. So for me personally, you know, I get my 1 to 2 trades a day and I, you know, go about my day and I let the charts do the charts. You know, we trade to live. We trade to live. Uh, 5-minute flip alarm open, yeah, definitely, man, definitely. You would just have to manage pretty aggressively. Like I said, you know, it wasn't gonna give. I even said at the open of the Howley, it's probably gonna give a quick bottom wick and then drive. That's pretty much what you did. Came down, quick bottom wick and drive. So yeah, the only thing is, you know, would I take a 5-minute liquidity wick when the 30 minutes kind of already pushed 160 ticks? Personally, not really. Only because if you try and take a, you know, 5-minute liquidity wick, more time, although it did play there, which is, you know, which is great. More times than not, you know, if you try and take a 5-minute liquidity wick here after it's already pushed this much, the likelihood is you're very likely to probably get a high time frame liquidity wick. So when I kind of see this big of a move here, I'm like, okay, cool. You've already had a pretty decent move here pre-London. I want to see more of a 15 liquidity wick. So for me, if this 15 to maybe come down, grab the lows, then I could take it because then I can judge a stop and then I can maybe have my targets. So 5-minute liquidity wick can be a little bit too aggressive to do it actually consistently, man. Do I trade NQ? I don't trade NQ personally. I just trade gold, but I absolutely break it down for you guys every day. You've had some great calls on NQ recently. Maybe we should start trading because look at this. There's liquidity wicks here on NQ, here and here. This is what we said at the start of the stream. Most people shorting NQ here, where are they setting their stops? Right above these highs. So if you guys go back to the start of the stream, this is what I said. Trend line coming down. Well, you guys remember, what did we say? I said trend line coming down. What do most people try and do? Most people try and short third touches of trend lines. Where do they set their stops? Just above the highs. So you get rid of the position, you get rid of the trend line. These become your liquidity points. What does price do? Comes all the way up, tags the highs, wicks back down. So NQ much nicer than gold here. Nice little scalp into the highs there. Favorite contract size with Topstep? I just like trading one contract, to be honest, man. One contract per account is more than enough, especially for gold. You know, like I said, if we catch, 30 to 50 ticks here, and like, what was this? From here up into these highs, I wouldn't take 100, but it takes to take like 70 or 50 from here to here, one contract. That's $500. That's amazing. You do that a couple of times a week across a few accounts, that's more than enough. More than enough. Can pass evals easy, but no payouts. How can I fix that? If you're passing the combines easy, it's the same as when you trade demo and then you go to the live accounts. Same as when you do back testing, you go to live accounts. The reason back testing and trading demo and trading combines can be much easier is because you're not thinking about the money. You're buying from here and you're letting this trade run. Whereas in the combine, the XFA, you're going, oh well, this is $300. Wow, that's amazing. Let me lock that in. So therefore, you're not actually trading the plan. So it doesn't matter if you're trading an XFA, you're trading a combine, you're trading demo. The trading decisions have to be the exact same. I never think to myself, look, I'm up this much on my XFA, let me close the trade because it's an XFA and it's a decent amount of money. You have to trade the plan. And that's why most people lose XFAs and do so well on combines, is because they don't actually have a trading plan in the first place. They kind of just full margin to combine, and then, I'm not saying that's your case, but most people, they'll full margin to combine and they'll be like, that was easy. And then they get to the live, the XFA, and they're like, that's the account gone. So you have to have a trading plan. Your trading decisions of your trading plan don't make a difference if you're in an XFA or if you're in a combine. You have your exit criteria and you have your entry criteria. It shouldn't trade based off where you're at. But don't get me wrong, there's obviously the emotional part that comes with that, which is the hard part. But that all comes from trying to detach from the money and trying to trade what's right in front of us. That's why I say to guys, hide your balance, hide your loss limits. Go on your charts and change it to ticks, and don't look at your performance day by day. Look at it at like the end of the week or the end of the month and be like, oh cool, that was a good month. Try and detach from the money as much as you can. Between 50 and 100. I like the hundreds, to be honest, man. I find the hundreds a good sweet spot for me. That's what I'm trading here. I have a 50 here as well, but I'm mainly copying two or three of these hundreds. I like the hundreds. But again, you could trade 50s and you get great payouts trading 50s. I've had amazing payouts just trading 50s. The bar timer, it is down here. Get down to bar close. Morning, Aaron. Good morning, man. Glad to see you back in Europe. Thank you, man. Good to be back as well. Requested my first ever payout over the weekend. Amazing, man, and good job. It's only a small amount, under $1,000, but still achievement in my trading. Hey, it's not a small amount, man. That's amazing. Taking out any sort of payout is absolutely fantastic, man. So good job. Like I say, most people don't even get to that point. So it doesn't matter if you think it's small, man. A payout's a payout, and that's absolutely amazing. So good job. Now you want to figure out what you did to get to that point and follow the plan and do it again. It's amazing, man. Yeah, I agree recently. I think females do make way better traders, actually. Aaron, do you trade Forex also or only futures? Nah, I used to trade currency, man, but only futures now. I don't trade any foreign exchange anymore. If you're gonna trade, Forex, like if you're gonna trade like pound US dollar, Euro USD, you may as well just trade the futures anyway. You can trade all of these. These are all, this is AUD USD, GBP USD, CAD USD. It's all the same thing. To me, there's no benefits trading but if you mean, do I trade currencies? No, I don't trade currencies anymore, personally, man. I used to trade currencies, more swing trading. For day trading, I just like to trade gold. I don't yeah, I don't really touch currencies anymore, to be honest, man. But like I said, I used to swing trade currencies really well. But now I like to keep my swing trading for the stocks and gold, and even just day trading just for gold. What time is your chart set to, and what time do you consider Asia open and close? My charts are set to London time. My chart's set to London. If you're off by an hour, what you can do is you can go here. I'll show you, and you can actually see. Where is it? Here on Forex Factory. You can see what session you're in here. This is forexfactory.com. You go to the bottom, you can see. So you can see when it ends, when London's starting. You can see when New York's starting. But it doesn't really matter too much, to be honest, man. Like, I don't... It depends on what you're trading, but for gold, I don't really focus too much about, you know, the specifics of sessions opening, closing. Same as, you know, if I'm trading gold in the New York session, you know, I'm still watching gold pre-New York. I'll be aware of the New York session open. If you're trading NQ, it's a different story. Yeah, nice one, Clays. You too, man. Have a good one. Specific strategy you follow with GC? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I did post a new YouTube video yesterday of Switzerland, and I did actually do a good trade breakdown in that as well. Of we had a decent amount of trades that week. We had some really good trades that week on stream. Let me see if I can find it. I'll see if I can share it with you guys. So I did a trade breakdown, and that you can see pretty much the full strat. Let's have a look. But there's yeah, many of trade breakdowns on there. Yeah, nice. This is good. Yeah, copper having a nice pullback. This is good. So you'd want to see if copper can re-break these highs to push up into here. So copper's having a nice pullback. Where was the euro? Let's have a look at the euro. Euro kind of broke above, held that squeezing high. So euro, if you did take that bounce on the euro, let's have a nice little squeeze. I'd be looking to target these highs here. Let's have a look at the pound. Yeah, pound kind of broke out, pulled back. Kind of pretty much what we wanted. Gold to do. Breakout, just a little pullback and squeeze. Gold, gold's just absolutely off here. So, euro had a nice pullback. Pound had a nice pullback. Goldie's just non-stop. Look at this. Gold from these pre-London lows up 300 ticks, which is insane. I can't hear, unfortunately. Can't get it on Topstep, unfortunately. So yeah, pound. Gold's having a crazy push. That could do it. Yeah, gold on a huge push. Currency is absolutely off to the moon as well. Look at this. So New York's gonna be interesting today for gold, guys. I think it's gonna be pretty tough, to be honest. When gold's at this, you know, price discovery levels, it gets very tough. Very tough. Currency is just broken them all-time highs from April, and just huge push. Huge push. That's amazing, Paul. So, YouTube guys, I will wrap up there. There's not really too much to trade here this morning, unfortunately. It's the first day of the week, first London session of the week. NQ had a nice NQ played out the plan pretty perfectly. Gold obviously had an absolutely insane move that, yeah, we just can't chase. To me, it's not a missed move. You know, the buys on gold were pre-London at like 6:30. So for me, unfortunately, I can't chase gold. I certainly won't chase gold, because if you do start to chase it, you know, before you know it, it'll pull right back down So gold's probably going to take closer to New York. If you're going to see anything on gold today, I think there might be nice opportunities out there. Like I say, NQ hit the highs perfectly. Euro had a lovely breakout as well. And for me, I think it's coffee time. Let gold do its thing. And I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. So trade safe, guys. Don't force gold. You could easily pull back, or you could just rip higher. It needs a lot more time. And I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. So trade safe, guys. Hopefully we'll get some better trades tomorrow. And I'll see you guys then. Peace.